Donald Trump has already broken one of the promises he made during the 2024 presidential election. Shocker, right? You know, Donald Trump's not one to break promises. You can sense the sarcasm in my voice, but this is something that he campaigned on, he ran on, Republicans fell for. They believe that somehow he'd have the ability to do this, and he has already failed, even before taking office. He's already lying and failing the American people before he's even become president of the United States. So I have some clips to show you to talk about this failure, and we'll dive right in. So here's a clip from the presidential debate between him and Kamala Harris. And in this video, he's asked about the Ukraine-Russia war, Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. And he said that he's going to be able to solve the war as president-elect. As president-elect, he'd be able to get it done. So just take a look at this clip. It's long. He kind of rambles for a little bit, but the context is important. So have a look.
To win this war.
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion or more, because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They're into 100 to 150. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin, hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get it. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. But after I left, when I saw him building up...
All right, I mean, we don't need to hear much more. We know Donald Trump's spiel. This answer is, of course, total nonsense. He just really can't string a sentence together all that well. And of course, it's full of misinformation that, you know, we're not working with NATO, they're not giving money to Ukraine. All of that stuff is just completely false. But that's his claim, that as president-elect, he could end the war by just picking up the phone and calling leaders. Now, we have foreign policy experts, those who serve in the military, saying that this war is incredibly complex, because it is. It's not as simple as just picking up the phone. And Donald Trump is saying, those people don't know what they're talking about. I'll be able to get it done as president-elect. Now, he's only been president-elect for a couple of days, but here's another clip I want to show you that adds important context. He said that he'd be able to get it done in 24 hours. In 24 hours, he'd be able to end the war. He has the ability to do that. Just have a look here.
Would you give Ukraine weapons and funding if you were
I
elected?
would sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in 1 day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that war in 1 day?
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this?
I mean, what a... it's so stupid, to just put it bluntly. It's so stupid. The idea that this war could be solved in 24 hours. But just think about what he just said right there. He could get it done as president-elect. He could solve it. But he could also get it done in 24 hours. So he's saying that he has the ability right now to end this war in 24 hours. And he's going to do it as president-elect. And yet he hasn't done it yet. This is something that Donald Trump campaigned on. It was one of his big promises that he was going to end this war in 24 hours. He was going to be able to do it as president-elect. And he's already failed. This is one of his big promises. And the really sad thing about this is not I'm not gloating. This is not celebratory here. This is just honest that Trump has already failed. The sad thing about this is that millions upon millions upon millions of Americans bought into this lie. They bought into the idea that somehow Donald Trump is some foreign policy whiz, and that he was able to get this done in 24 hours, that he knew better than our generals. He knows better than foreign policy experts, according to a lot of the Trump supporters. And we were already seeing the repercussions of that decision. Because if Kamala Harris would have won, we'd be in a far better position in this war and with peace around the world. But because Donald Trump has won, he's already breaking promises. And if this war were to conclude soon, Donald Trump has flirted with the idea of giving Russia some of the land that they've taken from Ukraine, which does not stop them in the future from trying to take more land. It's just the most weak foreign policy you've seen. Not strategic, not thoughtful, just blah. Just say whatever to get elected and then deal with it later. That's Trump's strategy. It's always been Trump's strategy. And it's truly, I think, painful for a lot of people to see this actually play out. This is something we thought we could avoid with Kamala Harris as president, and have good, sound foreign policy that is supported by experts across the aisle. But no, now we have a man who's already failed on his promises. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's remarkable that people actually bought into this idea, but Trump has already failed. He's already broken a promise. And that is the most unsurprising news you'll hear today about Donald Trump. So anyway, thank you for being here. Make sure to share this with your friends. And if you know somebody who's a Trump voter, make this argument to them, make this point to them, and share this video with them as well. So make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really goes a long way, and I appreciate it. And we're in this together. Remember, we're in this fight together, you, me, everybody. And let's do it together. So I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day.